Alright, I'll just bring you another match here. There's another one of Chadster's matches that he recorded out for the Four Horsemen 25. I'm trying to finish it off, or 24 rather, because 25 is starting. So let's watch the Four Horsemen intro and get into this.
Greetings, old school magic blades, and welcome to the Four Horsemen.
Alright, so that was a Four Horsemen intro. I'm not going to keep this up that long, but this is the current 24, and I believe 25 would stay exactly the same. Let's get down to the match. Again, like normal, I do these live. My kid hangs out with me, everything like that. So these are live recordings. So if the sound of a child or something like that bothers you, I apologize. Here's a perfect start for Chadster. Got a Penalhaven into a Scavenger Folk. Looks like Derrick's tossing down Tropical. I'm not sure what kind of deck he's on in this format. I do not remember. But that is a cool playmat. Looks like Chadster's ramping up. You really have to watch now because he does have the ability to destroy ramp from Derrick, but he also... Alright, well, library is a great one. But I'm guessing there's a land in like an Urnum or something popping off here. He does have access to blue, so there's an attack for one. Dib maybe? No, it looks like we're going to go to Tome instead. Derrick's got a great way to filter cards out from the top of his library now, so we really got to watch what's going on here. There's a strip mine. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I'm surprised he plays the Maid of Ith. I typically like to hold those until somebody puts a big, dib or something like that that's going to take... Yeah, there you go, boomerang. That answers that. I would have thought of strip mining. If I had a boomerang in my hand and knew it, I would have probably stripped the Penalhaven and then boomerang the other land back to his hand, leaving the Tome out, but leaving him with one land this, basically playing his only land this turn. But that's just me. I consider myself a pretty good Magic player. I am not the best. If you watch these videos, I try and force myself basically to stay off of Bauer Swedish in that, so there's another real control card in this format. It is a Time Elemental. And you definitely have to watch Time Elementals. Now they are blue hungry, so you can't be playing them with 3 and 4 color decks that well, but there's more mana ramp. Looks like Derrick's having a problem with lands. That's probably why he didn't strip and boomerang. So I'm guessing even with the library filter, he's not finding the lands he needs. Well, now you have to watch, because now there's 4 mana. Oh, it's an Aboria. Yep. That's a major problem for Chadster. Now, Aboria is not in effect this turn. Chadster has to find one of his Chain Lightnings and deal with that elemental, or his game is going to be very short. Oh, he could have played the Penalhaven for a mana. Oh, he has to discard because of the tone. Never mind. That's not really going to help Chadster. Chadster needs Burn Spell. He needs Chain Lightning. Again, just felt a reminder, like these guys here, if you want me to do commentary and post your videos for you, I'd be more than happy to do it. Just let me know, send me the information on it, share it with me, and I'll do it up and send them. Because there's formats I love, but I just don't have time to play. I think 7-point singleton's fun. I think all these things are fun. So if you have some videos, I'll be more than happy to do them for you. Even if they're just casual matches on Discord or something you might have had that you thought was pretty cool or something you want to share, just do up a video. I'll post it for you and do some commentary if needed. It's all about the love of the game. But I will throw a little side note out there. I was going to do videos of me altering cards, but I've had a bunch of people trying to copy what I'm doing and do it for themselves and kind of try and push me out. Again, I do it to try and support my autistic son and my family's extra needs. That's how I actually started doing it. So that it didn't sit that well, so that's why you won't see videos of me altering my cards for you, because I had people try and remove me from the scene because they wanted the money I make for themselves, even though it is not a lot. It's barely anything. I don't charge a lot for my alters. Now we have a lot of ramping going on over there, but I don't see an answer. Like I said, Chadster has stuff going on, but at this point he's going to have something return to his hand every turn, and I'm assuming it's going to be a land. Now see, as where Borea came in, I would not have touched a creature, because if you don't play, you can't attack, so the creature's useless. I would have kept attacking. I would have sent back Chadster's lands. I would have sent back his red and blue source, so he could not chain lightning my elemental, and I would have just kept returning all of his lands, and that would have been perfect. So at this point, Chadster would have been down 2 lands. Oh, looks like we got something big coming out though. Nebuchadnezzar. I don't know. Looks like Derrick's... He might be mixed on his... He might have a mix on what he's trying to do with his deck. I'm not quite sure how that one's going to play out, but he might have another play next turn. But if I'm playing an Arborea control, I don't want to really play spells. I think Chadster realizes he's done there. He's locked out. I'm going to skip ahead. Let's see if we can see exactly what Derrick's trying to do here. Alright, welcome back. Skipped ahead of all the stuff like usual for you to try and leave you as much fun as possible so you don't have to fast forward as much on your own. There's a quick land drop for Derrick and a pass. There's another Scavenger Folk. Like I mentioned before, this is a good example watching these different versions. You can see there's really not a power card that rules over everything else. Now there's a little life gain. That's Dark Heart. Sacrifice a forest for 3 life. And we have a quick Scavenger Folk. Another Maze of Ith real quick, so it looks like he's grabbed his Maze of Ith again. But I'm guessing he is land screwed. So this is a perfect time for Chadster to start doing some damage and doing some stuff here. Hopefully he's got another land drop and maybe a dib or something. Sounds a little crazy, but if you can pop a dib out this turn and earn him next turn, you're taking a lot of damage. So I'm guessing he doesn't have those creature combos and a land in his hand. Otherwise, I think even with the maze out, he would have put pressure out. But again, with control decks, you gotta move fast. If your opponent gets an Arborea out before you can do enough damage, your Arabian cards are gonna do nothing but kill you. There's another... I'm not sure what all of those dice are representing. Oh, that's his life. Okay. So Chancellor is getting a couple points of damage through, but I don't see a lot of burn coming out of his deck. I think it's a pretty heavy draw version of Arabian aggro. There's a swing for 2 again. What do we have here? A boomerang. I don't know if Derrick has a... Derrick could, depending on the control aspect he's doing, he very well could have a counterspell in hand. No, boomerang of his own. There's a boomerang of a land. Alright, so we boomeranged each other's lands. Alright, there's Derrick's land again. That's a good play on Chadster's side, because it does keep Derrick off of another land. So here's the 4th land. This is where I thought I would saw a Dib last turn to bait and then earn him this turn. Because you know he's having land problems, Derrick, so he's not going to get a Arborea out in 1 turn. And Chadster's nipping at him pretty good at this point. If you can read the dice, he's at 13, so Derrick does have to watch. Chadster can get away with this really quick. Yep, there's the Nurnum. Chadster's not having a lot of luck, but there is the counterspell. Remove soul. There's another. Scavenger folks are doing some serious damage. Looks like Derrick's deck is a little lacking on a removal of creature. But, you know, he is having some serious land trouble here. I always wonder what's in Chadster's hand these couple games we've been doing, because he has a lot of cards in hand, but he's not doing much, so I'm not quite sure what he has in his hands all the time, but let's see what we got going on here. I'm guessing Derrick has millstones in that deck, because there's a Felden's Cane going out, so that's a discard of a Felden's Cane on end step and a pass. Alright, there's... What am I missing? Alright, so that was the swing for 2, the maze untapped 1, and then he played an Urnum. And no more counter spell, so we know that Derrick is out of the counters. Amnesia, that's a great card. You want to talk about Mind Twist? You feel like you missed Mind Twist? There you go, man. You play blue, wipe everything that your opponent cares about out of their hand. Watch how that affects them. It's a lot of mana, but it basically, in a sense, is a giant Mind Twist. If you think about it, how much mana you spend on a Mind Twist most of the time anyway? So it really doesn't make that much of a difference. This is where, yep, Derrick has no way around that. So we're going to get the second game here. Alright, skipped ahead of everything here for you. All the shuffles, random rolls, and everything else going on here. So let's see what we got going on. Again, you'll see one of the Four Horsemen mats on Chadster's side. They are so cool. What are we starting with? Forest into a tower. Alright, so he's going to try and do the life gain way. Chadster really loves... I think he main decks 4 Scavenger folks. Oh, there's black. Let's see what Derrick's got going on. Nothing. He's trying to get into a heavier tower range. That's one of the next cards I have up to alter when I have time to make a different altar. I want to alter an ivory tower. I think that would look absolutely amazing the way I do it. It's a perfect card for it. So basically just ramp and attack like normal for Chadster, but we do not have anything on Derrick's side again. He must really have a mana hungry hand going on there, or he is desperate for the life gain. But it's not really doing all that much to him. Chadster's getting in, and Chadster's got mana this turn, so hey, there's something that you don't see all too often. There's a Sinbad. He does go with Sullivan Library, but Sullivan Library being restricted is a little harder. Now there are other cards like Vision. I think it's a 1 white. Look at the top like 5 cards. I have no idea what that is. It's a proxy of something that's a 1-drop. I don't know what that is. There goes the life gain either way. Looks like he's taking chances with Sinbad. Personally, a little shocked. Can't remember the exact card, but there's a Dreams type card. I think that one of the decks, Swedish, is like Mill Dreams or something, but basically the top card of your library is revealed. I believe that's a card that's accessible in this format. I believe it was from one of the original expansions. So that would go with Sinbad. Yeah, I'm not sure what that card is over there, so I apologize, guys, but Sinbad is dead. And we have a dark card out, which is not really what Derrick wants. I'm guessing Aboria. Yep. Alright, so now Chadster's gotta worry because he didn't get enough of his aggro out before Aboria. But as you saw before, Derrick kept taking himself off of Aboria to try and get other ways his deck wins out. So there's a Kurt Ape. Now remember, boomerangs are real. So Derrick's, and you know, he could basically get Derrick off by boomeranging. Like Chadster, on Chadster's end step, he would have to boomerang Aboria. The card would not be able to get effect because Derrick would now have to replay Aboria on his turn. So it would give Chadster 1 attack. But as you see here again, he's not letting himself stay on Aboria. Here's a quick Chain Lightning to kill off Nazar. Attack for 2. And pass. So I'm guessing Emboria is going to be in effect, question mark. Yes. Emboria is in effect. So Chadster does not have a plane of attack, which is actually not a horrible thing for Chadster, but he's definitely got to play out aggro. Is he going to boomerang it now? Are we going to see a counterspell? What are we seeing here? Mana Drain. Yes, don't forget, Mana Drain's real. Alright, we're back here. Sorry, I had to pause. What do we got? Oh, there's a quick crumble. It's going to get rid of the stone. Again, real life challenges, so if you hear something in the background, I apologize. Trying to finish this up before I take my family out. Alright, Chadster is really gaining life there. Okay, that's the card I was talking about earlier. The Dreams card, everybody plays the top card revealed. That's why Sinbad's in his deck. So Chadster is trying to do a very heavy draw. He's just doing a little bit of a Four Horsemen way. I personally have another thought process. I won't be able to do it for tournament 25, but I think 26 I will absolutely play out my other thought process. Okay, so you know he's going to draw, now he has to reveal. I wish I knew what that card was. Oh, there's Mirror Universe. That's a problem for Chad. But he's only on 8. I think that's it for Chadster. Now he has a boomerang here, so he can attack, dip it back. Oh, he can't. He does not have the blue source. The stone was destroyed. I think that might be it. Yep. Now I understand the crumble on the stone. I always take the mana sources away, but he had a whole plan the whole time. Good job, Derrick. I just wish I knew what that proxy was. Oh, he does have a blue source. Okay, yep, there's the boomerang. Now we're going to see a swing. Chadster didn't attack. Oh, you know what that is? I know what that card is. Those are proxies for Drop of Honey. That's what that is. Those are drops of honey. I don't think Chadster has a way out of this. He's gonna mana burn everything as much as he can from himself, but Is he gonna switch health? I would. But are you gonna take yourself down? I would burn myself out and then switch. Chadster's tapped out, so burn yourself to 1 and switch out. What is he at? 7? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he put himself at literally 1 life and give Chadster 1 life. He's not gonna do it. Okay. Must have been a thought there, but I would have put Chadster at 1 life.
At least you got something in there, right?
I was just making weird faces in the bathroom.
Time elemental. Yeah, I'm not really... Derrick, if you do see this, post your thought process here. I don't really... I'm missing something here, buddy. Alright, so there's a pass. Now see, now I think the opportunity for Underworld Dreams is gone. Because Chadster has so much mana he can burn himself out. So, the Mirror Universe is pretty much a mute point at this. Oh, that was just showing the Fallen Star. There's the damage and goodbye to the Elemental. But see, Derrick had a Forest, so technically he had an extra 3 life if he needed it, Desperation. But at this point, I mean, this point he can do it right now because Chadster only has 2 lands. He can take 3 damage. But I would have burnt myself out. Yeah. I would have probably tapped my city on Chadster's end step, doing 2 more damage to myself, knowing I had a Dark Heart if needed. But either way, 9-3. A Boomerang in hand, you know, plus whatever else, but I'm not sure how Derrick's going to do the damage. That land is not going to help Derrick. No, just a simple pass. I think Derrick is very heavy control. I don't know how many sources of damage he really has in there. So we just gotta... Let's see here. Yep, just gonna attack for 2, I guess. What do we have? A dib. Yeah, see, this is a big problem for Derrick. Kurt 8. Yeah, that 3 life is not going to help him right now. He has another farce coming up, but get rid of the Penal Haven, try and save a little bit of life, but it's an all-out swing. Oh, there's a boomerang. Oh, did not boomerang the dib. know what? I think at this point he's gonna leave the dip out to kill Chadster. Because you know he has 6 life right there.
Hey, Bubs. Go get dressed.
Yep. It's gonna knock Chadster down. There's an all-out attack, but I don't know if he has a way to
Hey, you wanna get dressed?
boomerang or something. What do we got in Derrick's hand? Because there's an attack for 7. Looks like Chadster's processing the thought. Yeah. Must have just been a correction or maybe Derrick had his head turned for a minute. So there's obviously the lands for 6. So it's definitely not going to kill Derrick, but Chadster should die in his upkeep. Yep, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the games, guys. Have a wonderful day. I am going to skip to see if maybe they laid some stuff out here. Yep, I figured that was a control. There you go. You can see the millstones out there and a bunch of the other cards and sideboard things. There's some Presence of the Masters. This is Chadster's deck he's laying out. So let's take a quick peek at what he has going on here. Okay, so there's Chadster's base concept. You see there's a lot of draw in there, but different kind of draws. But that's their thought process. All right, well, have a wonderful day, everybody.